Hello, in this video, we will introduce animation. JavaFX provides the animation class with the core functionalities for all animations. So this is the animation class. This is the abstract class. It provides the methods, pause the animation, play the animation, stop the animation. So this is auto reverse. When you play the animation and then you reverse the animation, reverse the order. So what happens here is you're going to define a direction of this animation when it reaches to the end, so you can reverse it, the direction. Cycle. So there's a cycle for the animation, how many cycles the animation goes. And red is speed and the direction of this animation here. And status is the read-only object property, indicates the status of the animation. So let's look at the concrete classes for the animation. There are three now we're going to look at it. It's path transition, fade transition, and timeline. So let's first look at path transition. Path transition, you define a path, like a line, a circle, the perimeter. So this, and rectangle, the perimeter. So this is the path. You can define a path. So you put a node, and the node will animate the moves along the path. So this is the path transition. It is subtype of the animation. And so this is all the constructors, so that the methods are inherited from the animation: pause, stop, and start. So, and here's the path. You define the path. Path is a shape. It's a line, a circle, and the rectangle. So this kind of things path. Orientation. So the orientation, this is something we can look at it. The orientation is, so this, the orientation type. So there's none, orthogonal to tangent. So there's two constants for the orientation. And the node, and this is the node you use for the animation. So that's the node duration. So duration of the of this path transition. So this is now, let's write a code here. We're going to write this. We put a circle right here and put a rectangle. So rectangle is going to move along the circle. So we create this node as a rectangle, and this is the pen. So we're going to put this circle and the rectangle into the pen. So now we create a path transition. So this is new path transition. Set duration. So this is how long this animation is going to run, and set the path. So path is the circle, set the node is rectangle, set the orientation. So the orientation we're going to set here is the orthogonal to tangent. So this is right here, and look at this is the orthogonal to tangent. So this is the one, the constant defined in the path transition dot orientation type. So this is the cycle count indefinitely. So this is going to run forever. This the count, and this is set auto reverse to true. And now we're going to play it. So this is play. We're going to pause it. So when you click the mouse here, press it to pause it, release to resume, this is the program. Now copy and paste transition demo is right here. So this is a pass transition demo. And we now run the program. And this is, so now we see auto reverse. All right, so let's look at the fade transition. The fade transition class animates the change of the opacity in a node over a given time. Fade transition is a subtype of animation. This is the UML diagram. So here we have the constructors. So here, this is the node, and this is the from value, to value, by value. So that's how this opacity changes. And this is the duration. And so now let's look at this. We are going to have this. So let's create new fade transition. So let's create a fade transition. So I think we can use a different constructor here. So here's using this, we're going to specify this duration, and the node we're going to use is ellipse. So this, using this constructor, this one here, the last one, creates a fade transition with the specified duration and node. And set the from value and set the to value as, and this is now the cycle count indefinite, auto reverse is true. So here we also use the mouse here. When you press it and the transition, the fade transition, the animation pauses, release it, it plays again. So this is the fade transition demo. So let's copy and paste right here. And let's look at this. Is fade transition demo. Run this now. So now you can see, click this, stays there now. This is the pressed and release. Now if I release it, so it continues. Press it, hold on to this. Stopped. Now resume. All right, so that is fade transition. So finally, let's look at the timeline. Timeline is most flexible. So the previous two animation, and one is the path transition. You have to, very specifically, you have a path and you have the node on the path. And fade is for the opacity. And see this fade transition. Now let's look at timeline. Timeline is most flexible. You can do a lot of things. So what timeline is this? Is you have this all these frames. So the idea you have all the frames. The keyframe is executed sequentially at a specified time interval. Timeline inherits from animation. You can construct a timeline using a constructor using this many of keyframes. A keyframe is created using this duration, and this is the action. So here is the, when this is finished, so what you do here, this is the duration. Every end of the duration, you're gonna do something. End of duration, so like every 10 seconds you do something, every 1 minute you do something, so that is triggers the animation. So this is the unfinished, that is the lambda expression. You can put lambda expression here, and for this, specify what you're gonna do. All right, so let's write this here. We are going to write this code here, is the blinks. So here's the message blinks. Okay, all right. So this is what we can do is to create this lambda expression, the event handler here for this. So this is event handler action event. So now we have this text. We put the text to the pen. We put the pen to the scene. So now we need to have this timeline, is new timeline. Here is, we are going to have this keyframe here. So this is the keyframe, new keyframe duration is 500 milliseconds. Invoking event handler. Event handler will change this display or not display. So look at the text. Text dot length. If it's not equal to 0, we're going to set it empty. Otherwise, we set programming is found. So that is set empty, or the text programming is found. So that animates the effect of blinks. So let's put it here, and we're going to look at the timeline demo. So this is the code here for timeline demo. And now let's run this. You're going to see this is now, see, it blinks. It blinks. So now press this button here. So this is because we have the code right here. So you see this is the code right here. Set mouse clicked. So this mouse clicked. So now look at the status. If it's paused, we're going to play. If it's otherwise, we're going to pause it. So now click it again. So it blinks again now. Look at one more example here is this clock animation. So we have this clock now. So I want to actually see the clock running. And this clock runs every 1 second. You see the second hand runs. So I'm going to have the millisecond. Every 1,000 milliseconds, that's 1 second. We're going to invoke this event handler. So this is action. This is the event handler action event. So we're going to invoke clock.set current time. So every time 1 second, we're going to set the current time. So this is here, the keyframe is this event handler here. Every 1 second, you're going to update it. So this set cycle count to infinity, it runs forever. So now this is the program here we are going to copy, and this clock animation. So here is the clock animation. So this is the clock animation. What is the clock pen? Clock pen is defined in this section 14.12. So let's do this. I'm going to create the clock pen. So this is the clock pen. So here is the clock pen. So let's go to copy and paste this back to NetBeans. So we're going to have this class is clock pen. All right, so now go back to clock animation. Now we can run this clock animation. So clock animation right here, clock animation, run clock animation here. See this every 1 second. That's 1,000 milliseconds. So you see the change. That is all for this section on the animation class. 3 subclasses: path transition, fed transition, and timeline. See you on the next video.